The war was already lost by the time the stars above Kepri Prime began to dim. Admiral Saris Vol knew this not from projections or probability curves, but from the silence. The silence of Allied channels that had once buzzed with tactical chatter, now reduced to static or automated distress beacons looping their final moments. The silence of entire civilizations that had gone dark within weeks of first contact with the Dominion. And, most painfully, the silence of the council chamber itself, once a cathedral of debate, now a mausoleum echoing with resignation. The Dominion had not come with rage or hatred. They came with efficiency. World after world fell, not burned but harvested. Populations were catalogued, stripped of industry, and relocated or erased depending on utility. Fleets that resisted were dismantled with frightening precision. The Dominion did not seek glory, they sought inevitability. The Galactic Concord, a coalition of over 100 species, had been formed for threats exactly like this. Yet doctrine failed where imagination did not reach. The Dominion adapted faster than any AI could predict, their ships evolving countermeasures mid-battle, their commanders thinking not in campaigns, but in ecosystems of war. After 3 standard years, Concord territory had been reduced to less than 20% of its original expanse. Admiral Vol stood at the panoramic viewport of the last mobile council arc, watching the pale blue glow of hyperspace ripple across the hull. Around her, the remaining counselors, avian, reptilian, silicon-based, and forms beyond simple taxonomy, waited for her assessment. "We cannot win," she said plainly. There was no outrage, no gasps. Only weary acceptance. "The Dominion will breach the Ark within 6 cycles," she continued. "Our fleets are exhausted. Our shipyards destroyed. Our remaining allies are scattered and leaderless." Counselor Threx of the Volari clicked his mandibles softly. "Then we discuss terms of surrender." "No," said a voice from the far end of the chamber. All eyes turned to Archivist Corin, the oldest being present, his translucent form shimmering with internal light. He was not a politician or a general, but the keeper of forbidden knowledge, history sealed not by law, but by fear. "There is one option left," Corin said. A murmur rippled through the chamber. Admiral Vol narrowed her eyes. "Archivist, we have exhausted every contingency." "Not every," Corin replied. "Only those we deemed acceptable." Silence fell again, heavier this time. "You speak of them," Counselor Threx said quietly. Corin inclined his head.
"Yes."
"Humanity." The name alone caused several counselors to recoil. One crystalline delegate dimmed its luminescence entirely, a sign of distress. "Impossible," hissed Counselor Sitha. "They were sealed away before the Concord even existed." "For good reason," another added. "They are unstable, violent, unpredictable." Admiral Vol turned slowly. "Archivist." The human prohibition was enacted after the scouring of Lotties. Entire systems rendered uninhabitable. And the Dominion has rendered dozens more since then, Corin said calmly. "The difference is intent. Humans do not conquer because they must. They conquer because they can." The chamber erupted into argument. Ancient treaties were cited. Casualty estimates screamed across hollow displays. Psychological profiles of humanity, compiled from fragments and surviving records, painted a species driven by emotion, creativity, and terrifying adaptability. "They weaponized gravity," one counselor said. "They turned mathematics into artillery," said another. "They survived their own planet trying to kill them," Corin added softly. "And they thrived." Admiral Vol closed her eyes. She had read the sealed files. Humans had not been defeated in war. They had been contained through isolation, their expansion halted by consensus and fear. The Concord had hoped they would burn themselves out. They had not. If we release them, Vol said, there is no guarantee they will stop with the Dominion. There is no guarantee we survive to regret it, Corin replied. The Ark shuddered as distant explosions rippled through hyperspace. Dominion scouts probing, testing. The vote was called. It passed by a single margin. 3 days later, the Ark emerged at the edge of a forgotten system, one absent from modern star charts. At its heart orbited a yellow star, unremarkable in every way, except for the artificial lattice surrounding its third planet, Earth. Humanity had not been idle in isolation. Their defenses were vast, layered, and unapologetically excessive. Automated platforms tracked the Ark instantly, weapons charging. A transmission cut through all frequencies. "This is Sole Defense Command," a voice said. "State your intent." Admiral Vol stepped forward, her image projected across the void. "We come seeking alliance." There was a pause, then a low, humorless laugh. "You sealed us away for 400 cycles," the voice replied. "And now you want our help?" "Yes," Vol said, "because we are losing." Another pause. Longer this time. "Send everything you have," the voice finally said. "All data. All records. And then wait." What followed defied every Concord model. Human strategists, both biological and artificial, absorbed centuries of Dominion data in hours. They did not seek to match Dominion tactics. They sought to break the framework in which those tactics made sense. Within days, human fleets mobilized. Their ships were not elegant like Volari cruisers or efficient like Concord carriers. They were brutal, modular, and aggressively redundant, designed to keep fighting even when half destroyed. The first engagement occurred near the shattered remains of Ilek Station. The Dominion arrived with a standard suppression force. They did not expect humans. Human ships did not form neat battle lines. They advanced in chaotic vectors, some seemingly out of control, others deliberately exposing weak points. Dominion weapons fired, and were met with reactive armor that learned from each impact. Then the humans did something unprecedented. They boarded. Human assault craft slammed into Dominion vessels, tearing open hulls and flooding sterile corridors with chaos. Dominion drones, optimized for range suppression, faltered in close quarters against soldiers who fought with instinct, rage, and terrifying coordination. The battle lasted 17 minutes. The Dominion force was annihilated. Footage of the engagement spread faster than light through the remaining Concord networks. For the first time in years, hope flickered. The Dominion responded as they always did. Escalation. They deployed adaptive warforms, null-space weapons, and reality-sharing drives designed to erase entire regions of space-time. Against any other foe, it would have been decisive. Humanity adapted faster. They turned captured Dominion technology into traps. They lured fleets into gravity wells that collapsed into artificial singularities. They seeded hyperspace routes with logic bombs that infected Dominion command AIs, forcing them to experience uncertainty, a concept previously alien to them. And they learned. Every loss made them more dangerous. Admiral Vol watched from the Ark as human commanders coordinated with Concord remnants, not as subordinates, but as equals. They listened, debated, and then executed plans that bordered on insanity, yet succeeded through sheer audacity. The turning point came at the Battle of Null Reach, where the Dominion committed its central consciousness, a distributed intelligence that coordinated all fleets. Humanity did not try to destroy it. They challenged it. They broadcast paradoxes, emotional simulations, and recursive decision trees that forced the Dominion mind to confront contradiction. While it stalled, human strike groups severed its anchors, isolating fragments and destroying them piecemeal. For the first time, the Dominion retreated. The war did not end quickly. Humanity did not allow it to. They pursued relentlessly, ensuring no remnant could reorganize. Worlds were liberated, not untouched, but alive. Where Concord forces had sought to preserve, humans sought to end the threat forever. Years later, the Dominion was no more. The Council reconvened on a rebuilt Kepri Prime. Humanity was invited, formally this time. Admiral Vall addressed the assembly one final time. "We feared them," she said, "and we were right to do so. But fear is not the same as evil. Humanity is not the monster we imagined." She turned to the human delegate, a woman with tired eyes and a half-smile. "They are simply what happens when survival, imagination, and defiance evolve together." The human delegate shrugged. "You called us because you needed something done." "And now?" Vall asked. The woman smiled, just a little wider. "Now, we help you rebuild. But don't mistake that for weakness." The Council understood then. Defeat had been certain, until they unleashed the one species the galaxy had always dreaded. And the galaxy would never be the same again.